In this tutorial we're going to be learning how to crochet the brick stitch. This stitch is a great stitch because you can get two different effects depending on when you change colours. So let's get learning how to crochet this beautiful stitch. So start this stitch by making a slip knot. Our starting chain for this stitch needs to be a multiple of 4 plus an extra 2 stitches. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to make mine 18 stitches. So I've crocheted my multiple of 4 plus 2 and now we're ready for row 1. To start row 1, work 1 single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So not in this chain here, work 1 single crochet. And then work 1 single crochet into the next chain. Next, chain 1, skip 1, and then work a single crochet into each of the next 3 chains, and repeat this all the way along, working a chain 1, skip 1, and then 3 single crochets. So chain 1, skip 1, 3 single crochets, and work this all the way along until you get to the end of the chain. And then once you reach the end of the chain, you should have just worked 2 single crochets after a chain 1 space. If you want to get this sort of stitch effect here, you need to change colours at this point. If you want this stitch effect here, then you need to carry on with the same colour, and I'm going to be doing this one for this tutorial. So we're going to be changing colours every 2 rows for this one and every row for this one. To start row 2, work 3 chains. This counts as your first double crochet stitch. Because that counts as our first double crochet stitch, we're going to skip this first stitch here. Work a double crochet into the next stitch. Your next stitch should be a chain 1 space. So whenever you come to a chain 1 space, chain 1 and skip that chain 1 space. Then work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches and repeat across, working 1 chain, skipping the chain space from the row below, and then a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Continue that all the way along and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So here I am at the end of row 2 and I've just worked 2 double crochets after a chain 1 space. Now if you are working this sort of stitch, you need to change your colour back to the same colour as we used for row 1. So on odd numbered rows in this kind of stitch, you're going to be working all of your odd number rows in the same colour. So here I've worked it in this creamy colour. And then for this one, we're going to move on to the next stripe, and this is the swatch that I'm using for this tutorial. So we're going to move on to our second colour. So I'm going to fasten off this colour just as we normally would. And then pull up the end of your next colour, and we're going to turn our work over and join the next colour to that first stitch. So I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch. Then I lay my yarn tail across the hook and pull up a loop, and that's how I join colours in this stitch. So to start row 3, make 1 chain. This does not count as a stitch. Then work a single crochet back into that same stitch. Then work a single crochet into the stitch after that. So our next stitch should be a chain 1 space from the previous row, and what we're going to do here is one of these overlaid treble crochets that kind of break up this row below here. So that's what we're going to do next. So to make an overlaid treble crochet, we're going to be making our stitch into this chain down here, so that skipped chain all the way down there, and that's kind of how you get that overlaid stitch. I'll show you how we do that. So yarn over twice, then put your hook into that skipped stitch, and then we're going to use our hook to kind of pull that stitch to the front of our work. So I'm going to show you it from the back, that might be easier. So I've put my hook through that chain there. I'm going to use my hook to my advantage, and I'm going to kind of grab the top of that chain and pull it to the front of the work, because when we work overlaid stitches, we don't want to catch these chains here, those chain spaces we've made. We just want our stitch to lay on the front of our work, only into that. So by pulling those loops to the front, we can achieve that. So now I'm going to finish off my treble crochet. yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So then if I pull that up, you can see there is our overlaid treble crochet. So to continue on with the row, we're going to skip that chain 1 space there that's behind our treble crochet, then work a single crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a chain 1 and a skip 1, because in future rows that's going to be where our overlaid stitch is going to be. So chain 1, skip 1, and then work a single crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to work another one of those overlaid treble crochets into our starting chain. So yarn over twice, put your hook into that skipped chain all the way down here. Then I'll show you from the back again. I'm going to use that part of my hook there to pull the chain through to the front. So we're working in front of our crochet and not around it. And then I'm going to work that treble crochet there. And then repeat this all the way along. So a single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, and then another overlay treble stitch. And I'll meet you at the end of the row and I'll show you what we do in these final 2 stitches. So at the end of row 3, you need to work 2 single crochets into those 2 final stitches. And then we're ready to move up into row 4. You need to change colour again if you're working on this stitch, but we're working on this one, so we're going to continue on with this darker green colour. So to start row 4, chain 3, this counts as your first double crochet stitch, then turn your work over. Because that chain counts as our first stitch, we're not going to be working anything into this first single crochet here. Instead, work a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and our next stitch is a chain 1 space, so we're going to do exactly what we did in row 2. So we're going to chain 1 and skip the chain space and then work a double crochet into the next 3 stitches and continue repeating that all the way along. So 3 double crochet, then a chain 1, skip 1, all the way along until the end of the row, and then your final part of the row you should have 4 double crochets. So I'll meet you at the end of row 4. So here I am at the end of row 4 and I've just worked those 4 double crochets, and now I'm going to change colour and we're going to move up into row 5. So I'm now ready to start row 5, and I fastened off the previous colour and joined another colour just like we did at the end of row 2, beginning of row 3. So on this row and future odd numbered rows, those are the ones where they're primarily single crochets with those overlaid treble crochets. So start row 5 with a chain of 1, that does not count as a stitch, then work a single crochet back into that same stitch and a single crochet into the next stitch. Next, chain 1, skip 1 and work a single crochet into the next stitch. And our next stitch is now a chain 1 space, so we're going to do one of those overlaid treble crochets again, but this time we're actually going to be working it into the top of a stitch. So if you remember in row 3 we did it into the starting chain. For this one we're going to be doing it into this stitch here that we skipped. So we're not doing it into this chain 1 space. Here we're doing it into the stitch below that, so that light green one's in row 2 here. So I'm going to yarn over twice, put my hook into the top of that stitch, and then I'm going to show you the back again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tip of my hook again to grab the 2 loops at the top of that stitch to pull them to the front like that. And then I'm going to make my treble crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2 3 times, just like that. Next, work a single crochet into the next stitch, skipping that chain 1 space behind the overlaid treble crochet. Then chain 1, skip 1 and a single crochet into the next stitch. And then you're going to work an overlaid treble crochet into that skip stitch from row 2 again. So I'll show you that one last time. So I'm going into that stitch there, pulling it through to the front and finishing off that overlaid stitch. And then repeat those steps all the way along to the end of the row, and I'll meet you here and we'll talk about how we work this stitch moving forwards. So here I am at the end of row 5 and I've just done 2 single crochets to finish off the end of that row. And then this stitch is actually a 4-row repeat, so we're going to be repeating rows 2, 3, 4 and 5 over and over again for the rest of this stitch. The only difference is on row 3, so with these green overlaid stitches we did it into the starting chain on row 3, however on future rows we're going to be doing it into the skip stitch, so it'd be this skipped stitch here, just like we did on this row we've just done here. So that's how you crochet the brick stitch. Again, you can get these 2 different effects using the brick stitch, so I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know down in the comments what you're going to make in brick stitch, and if you want to learn some more crochet stitches, check out this playlist here.